And good morning, everyone. Welcome to this Black Friday sale edition of Sports Shorts Daily, presented by LaBerge Casino. TK over on the North Shore, hanging out with the fam on Thanksgiving week. I am in Lafayette at an undisclosed location presented by the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. TK's coming to you from Tremonti's, and we're always sponsored by LaBerge Casino, where LaBerge Casino, believe it or not, I know some people find it hard to believe, was rocking and rolling last night. That's one of the bigger nights out of the year is Thursday night, Thanksgiving night, and Friday will be no different. Fridays and Saturdays are always busy at a casino, but on Thursday night, Thanksgiving, it's always a busy night. Folks have had enough. They hung out with their family for about 6 hours. That's a good amount. They're tired of hearing Uncle Tommy's jokes, and they head to the casino to go have a little fun because they know they're off on Friday. Today is Black Friday. Used to be, Tommy, I've done it before. Were you ever a guy who got in the car and it was at midnight at a store on a Thanksgiving night?
I was not. I didn't do that one. I know a lot of people did.
I have a few times in my life. I've done the mall thing or been to now it's unnecessary because you can buy everything on the internet anyway.
Right.
But it used to be that before you bought everything online, we're talking 15 years ago, 20 years ago, or even, and they had the internet then, but people just didn't use it the way they do now, that the better sales were at Walmart or at Best Buy or at the mall, at midnight. And I was a guy who went and did it a few times.
Well, I remember it was a big thing to go to Best Buy and get the big TV because, now they're relatively inexpensive. But back then,
Right.
They were expensive. And so if they put them, $250 off, $1,000 TV was now $750. You went and stood in line and you got over there at 5 in the morning. Like you said, now you can do it all online, have it shipped to you. It's a different world, but still a lot of people, big, Black Friday's a big thing, including your sale for the BR Rougarou. Y'all got some good stuff happening for Black Friday at the website. Tell us about it.
Yeah, go to brrougarou.com. Right now, we got two big Black Friday sales going on today. One is you can get half off, 50% off custom jerseys. So if you want to put your name on the back, you want to have a green Rougarou jersey or a road black Rougarou jersey, whatever your pick, customize it however you want, whatever numbers, whatever sizes, whatever names. You can get half off, and you get half off of any of the ready-to-go jerseys. The benefit to the ready-to-go jerseys is you can get them in a couple of days. You can get them now. We'll ship them to you on Monday, or you can come by the office and pick them up, whatever the case may be. But we've got some jerseys, the ones that the players wear right now, ready to go, different sizes. Those are all adult sizes. But if you want to customize the jerseys, and they take about 3 weeks to come in if you want to customize them. So order them today. You'll get them in before Christmas. And everything's 50% off. And we also have our opening night sale. You get 4 tickets to opening night, which is going to be May 30th. And the actual players' hats, the same hats that the players wear, the custom hats in the different sizes, the fitted hats with the 3D logos, really fine, really new hats this year. You can get that 50% off. So go to brrougarou.com. Tommy, you were talking about TVs. I remember when a 42-inch flat screen TV was a big TV. Now that's like the one you put in the kitchen, the one you put in the office. It's not, you got to have a 70, 80-inch, TV. And I saw some unbelievable sales on that at, Best Buy, Walmart.com. You can get 42-inch TVs and 55-inch TVs for like under $300. It's unbelievable. I remember when those things were 500 up, not long ago. Usually things go up in price, not down in price.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, so it's a good deal.
Yesterday on the football games, I lost in the Detroit Lions. I thought the Detroit Lions would cover. I think a lot of people lost on that. That was one of my bigger plays of the day. I really like Detroit. They lost the game. They were never going to win the bet. The Green Bay Packers, with banged up as they were, somehow went and dominated the Lions in Detroit. Because the line was 13.5, I put a little bit on the Cowboys, just because, 14 points, 13.5, 14 points in the NFL is a ton. I don't care who you are. Cowboys covered easily, won that. But, of course, I'm down now because I had the Lions big, went a little bit on the Cowboys. And then the Seattle Seahawks and the Rams, and the 49ers, I had the Niners -7, so won that bet. So I lost a couple bucks, but I was basically even for the day because I thought I had 9.5, but as it turns out, I had 10. I had Ole Miss minus 10. They win by 10. I get a push. I thought I had 9.5. It's one of those bets where you're sitting there watching the game thinking, okay, as long as we win by 10, we're good. Well, they won by 10. We pushed. But Ole Miss, I thought Ole Miss was going to just absolutely roll Mississippi State. I thought it was going to be 42-14, 35-10, something like that. And freaking Ole Miss wins, and they go to 10 wins, but it was a doo-doo game.
Yeah, I thought there'd be a whole lot more points scored by the Rebels. I pushed that bet also. I hit the Cowboys, lost the Lions, kind of like you did. But, the over and under on comments on Dolly Parton's Dallas Cowboy cheerleader outfit, that went way over. 77 years old, Ryan, and she could wear it at 77, no question.
Rocking I love it. I mean, Dolly's one of, I first remember 9 to 5, the movie in the late 70s. Might have been 1979, 1980 when that movie came out. And the working 9 to 5, she was great in that. And I've been a fan. She's been to Dolly World up in outside of Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. But yeah, that's pretty cool to see her rocking the Cowboys cheerleader outfit. And she did it right for 77. She'd be right. It should be at the Cadillac Cafe with TK for sure. But anyway, I was just 17-7. Ole Miss beats Mississippi State. Lane Kiffin's getting a lot of credit. 10th win. It's the second time in 3 years that Lane Kiffin has gotten 10 wins. There was a lot of conversation initially that Texas A&M might go all in on Lane Kiffin. Now we're hearing reports they're going in a different direction, but still impressive, man, what he's done over there at Ole Miss. And it looks like Dart will be back next year, quarterback, it's expected, and they'll be, a contender again, probably in a similar spot.
One other thing come out of that game last night, Will Rogers, the Mississippi State quarterback, has said he's going to enter the transfer portal. Of course, he was an air raid guy for Mike Leach, and you saw the band spelled out Leach on the field before the game. That was cool. And then Lane Kiffin after the game said, I missed Mike Leach tonight. It was just a little comment. But Rogers, who's more of an air raid kind of guy who can run, they kind of tried to morph him into something else this year. So he's looking for somewhere else to play, even though we don't know who the Mississippi State coach would be going forward. But he's going to enter the portal, and that somebody's going to get a good quarterback there. I think that guy's pretty good.
All right, so LSU football tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. against Texas A&M. They're an 11.5-point favorite. Are the Tigers. The story is not the A&M game. The story is Jaden Daniels. Can Jaden Daniels go throw up another 500 total yard game type thing? And if he does, probably solidify himself with a little bit of you got to grab the crown and watch that Washington State with a little nervous. And maybe we'll see.
Yeah, you kind of froze up a minute there. I missed the last part of your comment. But LSU, I'm laying the 11.5. I think, Brian Kelly's going to let Jaden Daniels do his thing. The team wants to, win. And the other goal they have right now, which might not mean a lot to everybody, but they want to win 10 games. And if they beat A&M and win whatever bowl game, that'd be another 10-win season. Brian Kelly had a lot of them at Notre Dame and had that at LSU. And that's like a little benchmark that was a goal in a team. Certainly they wanted to win the West and go to the playoff, but they're not going to win the West. They're not going to go to the playoff. So, that 10-win thing, seniors' last home game, I just think it's going to be LSU all the way. All right, Ronnie he's going to rejoin us there. Take a moment while Ronnie's rejoining us to tell you that all the good folks at Tremonti's want to thank everybody for coming out yesterday to get all your food and drink. There was a big line. I got a ham from there that I brought here to Covington, and they'll be they're going to take the weekend off. The guys worked really hard the past bunch of days, and they'll be back open Tuesday morning. Tremonti's thanks everyone who stopped by. And I know, Ronnie, you were in line over there.
Yeah, I went there yesterday morning, 9 a.m., and a lot of people picking up their fried turkeys, rotisserie turkeys, their sides, whatever they had pre-ordered. And appreciate Mike. It was good seeing him. As we mentioned, 12 weeks ago, he had a liver transplant, and great to see him back there. Working and that's a serious surgery. I had an uncle had that 5 years ago and doing well today. And so glad to see Mike there. And people love Tremonti's. The food was great. My brother, we brought the fried turkey over to the family, to my brother's house, and everybody enjoyed it. And so thank you to Mike. We'll do the same thing at Christmas. We'll get us a good or something over there for Christmas
The other
time.
thing they do at Christmas, they have a special on prime rib. If you like prime rib, you need to get that for Tremonti's for the Christmas time stuff.
Getting back to LSU for a minute. Obviously, as disappointing as this season has been, I mean, LSU
You're bouncing in and out a little bit, Ryan.
make people feel a lot better about the season if they go ahead and take care of, and get Jaden Daniels that Heisman. It would definitely be the type of thing that could put a little Band-Aid on a disappointing year, Tommy.
I agree completely, and he's going to go to New York. He's going to be among the finalists, regardless of what happens on Saturday. But that's big for recruiting. It's big for the brand of LSU. Coach Skip Bertman always talks about the brand. And if you got a guy in New York at the Heisman Trophy presentation, certainly you want him to win it. But if he doesn't win it, that just adds to the brand of LSU throughout this nation, which helps recruiting, not just in football, but in all sports. And of course, the success of the other sports helps as well too. But no, it's a big thing, and I guarantee you, all eyes will be on Jaden Daniels tomorrow in the morning, in the chilly morning when they kick off against the Aggies.
I'm going to start this bet process, and I'm going to see what happens, Tommy. You said tonight LSU's a 20.5-point favorite over North Florida at home in the PMAC to men's basketball team. Is that correct?
That's correct. 20.5 over North Florida.
If you remember last year, I went on quite the run betting against LSU men's basketball and the point spread. And I want to say at one point I'd won like 14 in a row and, maybe like 19 out of 21, something like that. It was a crazy run we went on last year. I'm starting that again, and they're going to have to prove me wrong, but I'm going to take North Florida in the plus 20.5 tonight at home in the PMAC against this McMahon-led LSU basketball team. Remember, this is a team that's played everybody close. They lost to, Nichols. They've blown a number of big leads. They've had trouble finishing games. And not that I'm pulling against LSU men's basketball, but I just would like to see them win by 10 tonight against North Florida. We're going to go in.
You can make that bet at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at the LeBares Casino and Hotel. Well, we'll be tomorrow morning from 9 to 11. We'll take you right up to kickoff with the Sports Shorts Radio with Hunter McCann and myself. Derek Beckwith's in London, so I don't think he'll be joining us, but we'll have some good stuff for you, Joel Davis. That's 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Please, we're sliding on the clock a little bit because of the kickoff. You see it on your screen, Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and we'll be in the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at LeBares.
So, TK, last night, it's a long Thanksgiving day. At the end of the night, kids are going to bed. Myself, my daughter, my sister, and my mom, we watched Formula One, Season 1, Episode 1. I said, all right, now's a good time. Let's watch it. Let's see how it goes. If you guys are into it, we can watch another episode. They're about 40 minutes long, 45 minutes long, whatever the episodes are. Mama Rance hit the next button to watch Episode 2. I didn't even have to ask. She was all in.
Wow.
Watched 2 episodes, and she said she will definitely keep watching it. So
there you go. You're influencing people. I hope you're making some influencer dollars.
I would think Netflix should at least give me like 25 cents, every time somebody clicks the button. But
or give you free service, maybe that.
Sanders. He's involved in the documentary. I think Eminem, the rapper, is the executive producer on it. And it's a 90-minute documentary on Barry Sanders, on his life, why he retired, what he did, all that kind of stuff. Extremely interesting. Barry participates, his family participates. Something I didn't realize at the time, and you mentioned Derry Beckwith being in London. Well, Barry Sanders, he went and spent a few days there. He literally sent in a fax notification to the team that he was retiring. And at the same time, he jumped on a plane from Detroit, went to London to go hang out for a few days. And so at the end of the documentary, Barry takes his 4 sons on a vacation to London, and they're doing the interview from the banks of the Thames and in London. It's really, really cool documentary. You need to watch it. And if you thought Barry was great, or you were maybe on the fence of being a Barry Sanders fan, obviously watching this documentary will push you over the edge, and you'll have a better understanding of his mindset back then and why he did what he did.
Well, yeah, and a couple of my nephews and I we were talking about all that last night here. Near the tail end of the day, there was a lot of talk about the Barry Sanders thing. So, yeah, I haven't seen it. I will make a point to see it.
All right, so Saints get some good news. They got good news in a week because they got bad news that Michael Thomas is out for the next 4 weeks. He's on the injured list, and who knows what that means. They got they're banged up in other ways. Derek Carr was in concussion protocol on Monday, but yesterday we find out that he's not any longer, and he will play and start against the Atlanta Falcons. That's good news.
And that moved the line a little bit. Saints were like a point under, getting a point. Now they're laying a point and a half. So a little bit of a shift, obviously, because of the announcement on Derek Carr that he will play. This is a big game for both the Saints and the Falcons. For so many years, that Saints-Falcons rivalry is a big thing. A lot of fans go to the opposite city to watch the game each year. And, so it's a big game because whoever wins tomorrow kind of gets control of the NFC South. And these two teams play again in week 17 or week 18, whatever the final week is. So, forget all that. It's all about, Sunday's game. Saints need to find a way to win. Won't have Thomas, but they'll have Carr. And maybe the Saints defense can, kick it back into gear like they were doing earlier in the year. That would be the big thing. But Saints are a 1.5 favorite. Over and under is 41.5 on that game. It's a 12 noon kick in Atlanta Sunday.
Speaking of rivalry games, Southern and Grambling, 50th anniversary of Southern and Grambling, will be going on. The 50th anniversary down in New Orleans. Both teams are 5-5, so it's a big game. You're either going to have a winning record or a losing record on the season. The game will be on national TV again, NBC, 1 o'clock. Southern will have a new football coach next year. They made a coaching change a couple weeks ago. They have an interim right now, but the Bayou Classic, 50 years of the Bayou Classic down in New Orleans. And, you think back to the Bayou Classic, you cannot think of the Bayou Classic without Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer Eddie Robinson, Sr. And I've watched so many documentaries on him. I've gotten a chance to know his grandson being with the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. You think of Doug Williams, you think of Pete Richardson, the Southern coach. I mean, it's a game with tons of tradition, and it's the HBCU showcase, and now you'll get a chance to watch it tomorrow on NBC. It would be something if Southern fired its coach and had a winning record. That'd be kind of interesting.
Well, the whole weekend special for all the fans of both schools. The Battle of the Bands, some people's eyes bigger than the game.
Bigger.
Yeah, the Battle of the Bands is going to be amazing tonight. There's lots of other activities. It's like a whole long weekend of festivities for the Jaguars and for the Tigers of Grambling State. And like you said, Ronnie, both teams are 5-5, so they both going to want to get out of there with that winning record. So 1 o'clock, it should be a fun one, and the Bayou Classic's a staple on the calendar, for all those fans and for college football.
I'll tell you, I was very fortunate a couple of years back when Richard Lipsey was the king of the Washington, D.C. Mardi Gras. And he brought in as king, a stripped down number. It was probably only like 40, 50 band members for each, even though that's a ton. But these bands have hundreds of people in them. but they had the Southern Band, the Grambling Band, and the LSU Band. He brought all three bands into DC to perform at the DC Mardi Gras extravaganza, and they all at one point in time were in the giant ballroom at the Washington Hilton. The Hilton that unfortunately Ronald Reagan was, the shot right outside of leaving. That Hilton has the largest ballroom in the city of DC, and that's why it's always there, the DC Mardi Gras. He had all three bands in there performing at the same time, and it was really, really neat. I mean, that'll never happen again. That was history in the making, that all three bands were in the same room. Really cool.
Yeah, I went to the DC ball one time, but not that year, obviously. But it's a big, big event, no question, and kind of Louisiana shining for all the rest of the political world.
New Orleans Pelicans are red hot, 4-1 in their last five. They had on the road, but most of that's been at home. They had on the road now for a 3-game road series. They had some big wins at home, against the Sacramento Kings and the Dallas Mavericks. These are teams that are going to, playoff teams. These are teams that are going to tend to win their division and make it to the finals. And so now can the Pels do it on the road with at least Zion and Ingram to playing together?
Yeah, well, they'll start this road trip against the LA Clippers tonight. Clippers are a 5.5-point favorite. Clippers come in with a record of 6-7. Pelicans are 8-7, 226.5. The over under on that game. You're right. Got to go get those road wins and see if they can get that done. A nice little homestand. Let's see if they can carry some of that momentum onto the road.
Go check out at brrougarou.com. We've got some 50% off Black Friday sales, 50% off brrougarou.com. Our game jerseys, custom, the ones in stock. Plus, we've got a hat ticket combination. And it's not on sale, but you can order your satin custom your satin jacket, Rougarou satin button-up jacket. The starter jackets that were kind of in 20 years ago, 30 years ago, to kind of come back. And we ordered a batch of them. They'll be here in the middle of December. You can, there's only a limited supply. So get your satin custom starter jackets for Rougarou jackets. You can order those at brrougarou.com as well. Tell us about Tremonti's on the way out, TK.
Well, thank everybody for coming by, like I said, for Thanksgiving. And they're going to take a couple of days off. Their staff deserves it. They work very hard prior to Thanksgiving as well as Thanksgiving morning. They'll be back open Tuesday morning. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, we're on the radio 9 to 11 from the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at the LeBears Casino, 9 to 11, a little early morning stuff for you with the gang, with the Sports Shorts Radio. So we want you to do that. Tomorrow morning, we'll get you right up to the kickoff for LSU and Texas A&M.
All right, for Tommy Christ and I'm Ronnie Rance. We'll see you tomorrow morning on ESPN Radio in Baton Rouge. Until then, stop by LeBears Casino. Have a great time out there tonight. Visit the Edge Lounge while you're at it. Have a good one, everybody.